Hello everyone. In this video we will be going over the personal information section of the resume writer. A lot of this is hopefully straightforward, but there's a few things that I'll touch on as good pointers or things to consider as you fill this in. So contact information's relatively self-explanatory. The employment section, you go in and enter all of the details about the different positions that you've had throughout your career. If you need to add a new company, you can add a new company by clicking on this button. If you need to add a new position for a company, you can add the new position by clicking on the new position button. If you want to edit a position or a company that's already there, there's not much to edit on a company. It's really just start and end dates as well as location. Those are all the location is optional, but it is added to the resume if you put it in there. On the position, that's where you've got a lot of information for what you've done in your particular positions. So title, location, budget, team size, if those apply, these are optional, but if you put data in there, it will be sent into the AI. Start and end dates, if it is your current position, then check that button and the end date goes away. If you have any patents or publications associated with this position, you can enter those in. And what you want to do with the description is really add in all of the information that the AI needs in order to understand what it is that you did at this position. So what were your projects? What were your accomplishments? What were your responsibilities? What is it that you did in this job that a future employer would like to know about? You can write this in a paragraph form. You can write it in a bulleted list form. That's usually the easiest thing to do. The bullets are optional. And you really want to cover as much detail as you can, because what the AI is going to do is read the job description, figure out what the key points are for the job that you're applying to, and then read through your background information and figure out what are the things that you've done that are most important. It's going to highlight those to the top, and what are the things that you've done that it don't really match or don't really apply quite so well, and it's going to leave those out. The education section is similar to the employment section. You want to click on the university. Again, there's not a whole lot to add in this, the overview of what your degree was, and if you do have publications or patents associated with that time at university, then you can put those in there. That interface is the same as the interface under the employment section. If you have an employment type of experience at a university, teaching assistant or lab assistant or some research fellow, it is better to add that in the employment section rather than adding it as an education section. The AI is easier to deal, has an easier time dealing with that if you list that as employment. In the certification section, you can go list any professional certifications that you may have. Gets a title, what is the name of the certification. If there's an organization that issues that certification, you can place that there. And if there's an expiration that expires, like let's say a CPR certification that you have to renew every year, then you can put in that expiration date and go ahead and keep updating that as you need to. The personal detail section that I skipped a moment ago is a non-employment section. So you still want to keep this to a professional summary. And what you want to tell the AI in this space is, what are your strengths? What is your personal brand? What do you really enjoy doing? Why would somebody want to hire you? What do you bring to that new position or to that new company that doesn't show up in a list of accomplishments and responsibilities from a particular position? The AI is going to use this to get a better understanding of you. You'll see details from this show up when it writes the bio at the top of the resume, when it writes the cover letter, when it writes thank you notes. It's going to keep drawing against this to help personalize that information to you. And then the employer summary may or may not really fit in this personal information section. It doesn't fit exactly in any given section, so it sits here, and it can be a little bit confusing at first. When you've had a long career or a lot of companies that you've worked for, the next job that you are applying to is likely only really interested in the last 5 or 10 years and the last couple of positions that you had. And so you don't want a long, verbose section written by the AI about some of your older positions, some of the things that you might have done 15, 20 years ago. And this gives you an opportunity to write a summary on that employer and skip having the AI generate a new summary for that old position. The AI will write this. If you click on the Write Summary button, then the AI will look at what you've put in your details. It'll create a summary for you. If that summary is too long, and it probably will be, then you can hit Refine, and it will use the AI again to refine that summary and condense it into a couple of bullet points. You can also write your own summary and have the AI refine that if you would like, or you don't have to use the AI at all. When you see the resume output, then this shows up instead of an AI generated content for that particular employer. And like I said, this is really helpful for having a long employment history. You might only want one or two lines about an employer that you had a long time ago. And you might find you have a particular job application that you do want to include that because the experience, while old, is more relevant perhaps to the employer than some of your newer experience. And when you generate that resume, you can make that choice. You can tell the AI to go ahead and use your AI generated summary instead of using this pre-built one. But that is an option that you have either way. That is the overview of the personal information section. Thanks for watching.